It's two of the best offenses in the Metroplex. Highland Park taking on the MacArthur Cardinals in a district showdown. Hey everybody, Rob Willman with you along with John Nelson. Highland Park comes in unscathed, a perfect 7-0 overall, 5-0 in district. MacArthur hanging in there with that last playoff spot on the line at 3-2 in district, 4-3 overall. It is homecoming 2022 at Ralph and Joy Ellis Stadium as you take a look at the Scots from Highland Park, the traditional yellow and black stripe pants and the white jerseys. And MacArthur tonight, they're bringing out the red jerseys and the red helmets and the black pants, looking sharp. We got to look sharp, we got to play some offense, and we've also got to slow down that Highland Park offense. And when you think of Highland Park, it's not just one or two players. It's the entire team. They spread the wealth, no pun intended, very evenly on this program. Everyone gets a chance to play. Everyone gets to touch the ball. Their leading rusher is Jay Cox. He only has 382 yards. Their leading receiver is Jackson Heiss. He just has 422 because there's another 10 guys underneath them that all get an opportunity to play football and get to touch the football. So that's the thing about Highland Park. They spread it out. Everyone gets a chance to touch the football. On the other hand, for MacArthur, it's all about the quarterback, and they're one running back and one receiver. The weather tonight, oh, you couldn't ask for a better game. John wanted to wear the sweater. Nah, not going to happen. 86 degrees, low humidity, the wind out of the south at 14. The skies are clear as you take a look at downtown Dallas. It's a perfect night for football. The big question, John, is can MacArthur slow down Highland Park?
Well, to win this game for the Cards, number one, they have to have their best week of practice. They did. Number two, they're going to have to play in all facets of the game, their best game of the year, and we'll find out in 48 minutes. Albert Becerra has it teed up for the Cards, a straight-on approach, hammers it deep, and this will come out to the 25. Scots on the year a perfect 7-0, 5-0 in district play, averaging 44 points a game. The Cards giving up 34. Mac coming off that 45-7 win over Irving in a game that you saw last week. The Scots disposed of Nimitz 51-6 a week ago.
The starters for Highland Park tonight, they got a big offensive line. It's Sweeney. Well, we'll get back to that in a second as we take a look at the first offensive play.
Brennan Storr, number 7, is your quarterback. One of the top quarterbacks in the area. He will keep it. Storr to the outside 30. Evades one, goes down at the 32, a gain of 7 for number 7. Taken down by Tristan Hobbs-White, the junior cornerback.
Just a basic play, dive play right, read the defense, split between Hernandez and Reyes, and got a good 7 yards. So a good start for the Scots in their first offensive play.
Storr completing 64% of his passes, 1,652 yards, and 20 touchdowns. Second and short out on the flats, and just shy of a yard of a first down.
Well, just a couple of yards that time, hitting wrap. And a good play offensively or defensively for MacArthur, keeping them inside the chains.
That's Bo Lilly, and his last name, if it's any kind of relation to Bob, is it? Yes, it is. The grandson of the great Bob Lilly. Bo Lilly, number 4, senior. Had 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns last week. 3rd and a yard. And the Cards stiffen up on the outside. Not much of a gain at all.
No, Odin number 24, comes up big time, making the big hit on the left side. If you're looking at the offensive move from left to right, and wrapped up was Jay Cox, their leading rusher. Highland Park going to go for it.
4th and a yard. They scrimmage from their own 34. 2 backs, and Storr turns, hands it off, 1st and 10. Knifing over the left side for a gain of 6. And the first down of the game, that's Cox.
Offensive lineup for the Scots coming in. Sweeney at left tackle. Basso, Morales, Pickleman, and Ogle, the guys up front. Then you got, of course, Storr at quarterback. Cox, Lilly, Heiss, Schrank, and Herring are your receivers. They run that 4 wide receiver set.
over the left side. And the Cards with a double team takedown at the 41-yard line.
Defensive starters for the Cardinals, Ford, Hernandez, and Reyes are the three. Then you have Garza, Bondo, Sandoval, and Munoz are the linebackers. Hobbs, White, Locke, Wilkerson, and Ford are your corners.
Last week, the Cards only allowed 60 yards of rushing. 2nd and 10, caught at the 48 and dropped all the way back to the 46, but they'll give the receiver, that's Herring, yardage to the 48. Number 6, Luke Herring. The Scots come in passing, averaging 224 yards a contest.
And Herring averaging about 21 yards every time he catches the football, so that's a small win for the Cardinal D right there.
Got to scoot it back more rather than the 48 to 47. On the run, caught on the near side, 45, and taken out of bounds is the first catch for Grayson Schrank. Schrank, a senior, a track star in the spring for the Scots.
Well, credit Heiss, number 3, for just clearing the area. There's Heiss to the right. What he did was he was set up wide, went in the middle, everybody went that way. It kind of cleared the zone for Schrank, who has his first catch of the night.
1st and 10 Scots. They scrimmage from the Cardinal 43. From the shotgun, Storr looking, scans a secondary, will take off 40, 35, and cut down out of bounds, but not before he has enough for another Scots first down.
That was a basic play of where he was trying to go deep. Everyone went deep. There was one Cardinal that was pretty much his shadow, but Storr was able to outrun him on the corner and get the first down. I mean, there was no one in the secondary. Look, just to your right, you see the one player from MacArthur, number 42, and he was Garza, and he wasn't able to get over there in time.
Cards on the year, giving up 34 points a game. 1st and 10 from the 33. Storr, a marker is down, throws it, is caught at the 12. Able to hang on to it, but keep in mind a penalty flag coming in on the far side. That was Herring again, Luke Herring.
It's an offsides against MacArthur.
Offsides, MacArthur. That penalty is declined. Results of the play.
So they'll take the play, and a first down spotted squarely on the 10.
Storr on this drive, 4 for 4 throwing the football. It's pretty much, he gets a lot of time to throw. The Cardinals have not been able to put much pressure on the quarterback.
Lilly and Heiss to the near side. Yeah, just one interception this year, all told for Brennan Storr, a Western Michigan commit. Just underway, week number 8 of the 2022 high school football season. Storr on the option pitch to the outside, getting back to the line and a couple of yards to the 8, shoved out of bounds is Jay Cox.
Nagacha, number 11, was able to wrap him up, and the Cardinals played that option play pretty well. It's the short side of the field, and they used the short side to their advantage. Right there, there's Storr with the pitch. One missed tackle by Garza, but there's Nagacha right there to clean it up.
Last week, the Scots had 176 yards of rushing against Nimitz. 2nd and goal from the 7. Storr, fade pattern, trying to get it to number 3. He was tied up by Hobbs White. Heiss couldn't twist free.
First incomplete pass of this drive. They're about to hit their 11th play, and usually in high school ball, when you get to double digits on a drive, your odds of scoring are not quite as high as if it's less than that.
Yeah, a little over 4 minutes. 3rd and goal from the 7. Again from the spread. Storr to the corner, a little bit too tall. Try to hang it up for Herring, and will bring up 4th down.
He's coming up a little slow. Landed on that shoulder and might have a shoulder injury. Watch again, Storr. See, they ran that clearing pattern again, and Ford in on the coverage, and Storr just threw it too high. I mean, he had his guy.
Well, the Scots going to try to settle for a 24-yard field goal attempt. Slight angle to the right. It is up, and center cut from 24 yards out. The Scots on the board with 7:46 to go in the opening period.
Almost took 5 minutes off the clock to do it, but tip of the hat to the Cardinals. If you can hold them to a field goal, they should feel pretty good about themselves. And now we've got MacArthur featuring one of the top passing attacks in North Texas when they get the ball back with Casas Willis in at quarterback. It's going to be fun to watch. Willis has already thrown for more than 2,000 yards this season in just 7 games. More impressive, his touchdown to interception ratio, 20 touchdowns while throwing just 2 picks. He's completing 64% of his passes. His favorite target, of course, is Brandon Henderson. Keep an eye on him. Henderson has hauled in 11 of those 20 touchdowns. And the wideout leads all receivers in North Texas with over 1,000 yards. The duo of Casas Willis and Henderson, of course, will be the key in keeping up with this Highland Park offense. So let's see if number 22 can make some noise offensively.
So the Card defense able to hold the Scots to 3 points. Nicholas Regas is Highland Park's kicker, number 54, a junior. Scots last year finished 10-2 as a Class 5A participant. Made it to the regional finals. Scooped up at the 10. 20, 25, running room down the rail. This is Darrell Smith. And Smith with a huge kickoff return.
It's that MacArthur speed that has the edge on this playing field tonight. If you can get that speed out in the open, look out. There's Mohamed Hernandez, Para, Saran, and Akpom are your guys up front that'll be doing the blocking tonight. We talked about Willis. Smith, don't forget him, number 1. Then Henderson, Simmons, Littleton, and Walker.
42-yard kickoff return for Darrell Smith, and our first look at the Cardinals on offense, averaging 40 points a game. Glendon Casas Willis, as Rob said, completing 64% on the year. Here's the handoff to Darrell Smith, looking for an avenue. He's got daylight, and Smith with a 9-yard run.
Little stop and go stutter step move by Smith, and the 5'8" junior can make things happen with his quickness. Right side, John. Highland Park gets a little push there up the middle, but Smith takes it to the right side for a gain of 9.
Nicely blocked by Para, number 66. Second and short from the Scott 39. Casas Willis will throw. It's a little bit too tall intended. And did he ever get drilled? That was Littleton out in the left flat.
Highland Park's defense, they run a 3-4-4. Brown, Winfield, Carlson are the guys up front. The backers, Rosley and Remy, are in the middle, and you got White and Barton on the outsides. And then the 4 guys in the secondary, Burt, Durative, Williams, and Giese.
Henderson and Littleton to the near side. It's 3rd and a yard from the 39. And the senior quarterback will hand it off to Smith, and he is smothered in the backfield. A duo of Scots. One of them, number 10, Robert Remy.
Also credit number 57 that time. I don't have a 57 on the roster, but he made a heck of a play.
A yard loss just shy of the 40. It'll set up 4th down.
Trailing
3-0. You got to go for it here. Week number 8. Playing the 14th ranked team in the state. And the Scots put 7 in the box, and somebody may have jumped early on the O-line.
Highland Park believes it's against MacArthur, and that is the call.
5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
First mistake of the ball game for MacArthur.
Cardinals last week, 25 first downs, 182 yards of rushing, but Rob, they were penalized for 127 yards. Got to clean that up in practice.
They've had that problem all season long. You got Littleton and Henderson both over here on the near side, John.
4th and 2 from the 4th and 8 as Casas Willis has time looking. He's running, unloads, and has a receiver near the 30 and well out of bounds. Trying to get it in the direction of Littleton. He was well covered. And the Scots take over.
Penalty hurt them. They get 9 yards on like the first play offensively. And then the next 3, they go backwards. 1 5-yard penalty and a couple that nothing really happened. And because of that, they've got to turn the football over. But you've got to go for it on 4th. These are games you've got to do that. And I'm looking out there at the defense tonight for MacArthur, and it appears that Littleton, number 6, as Nicholas looking on. Number 6 is going to play both ways tonight. Littleton, they've got him at free safety.
From the 46, running play over the left side, close to midfield. And a gain of 4 will bring up 2nd and 6. That's Jay Cox. Highland Park averaging 44 points a game. Their offensive line, 4 seniors and a sophomore, they average about 240. From midfield. Store, play action. Looking this way, throws, it is through the fingertips at the 38-yard line of Jackson Heiss.
Well, he had him, and there was no one around him. Thing about Store as a quarterback, he doesn't have little targets to throw to. Every one of those receivers has some good size to him, but he just seems to be off just a little bit tonight, overthrowing his receivers 3 times. 1 was in the end zone.
Heiss and Lilly again wide right. That's number 6, Luke Herring. He's to the other side. 3rd and 6. They need to get to the Cardinal 44. Running, being chased, gets away from 1, just throws it away. Had a chance to sack him at the 35, was able to elude the gotcha. Number 11.
Look at the end of this play where the offensive player pushes the MacArthur cornerback. They didn't call it, but if you see this at the very end, looked like he gave him a good shove there at the end. Could have been offensive pass interference.
Smith back deep. Regas in punt formation. End over end, hits at the Cardinal 20 and will be touched around the 22-yard line. So possession number 2 for MacArthur. Trailing 3-0, 4:52 left in the liftoff quarter.
I'll tell you, John, I'm pretty impressed with the Cardinal defense right now.
Couldn't ask for a better start defensively, holding Highland Park to 3.
A lot of pressure on this young team defensively. They've really taken it on the chin in a few games this year. And I'm sure they feel that pressure and want to, pretty much do their part, since the offense is really the marquee side of the football.
Darrell Smith just to the left of Casas Willis. He'll take the handoff. Smith, 25. Smith out to the 27-yard line. Gain of about 7 on first down for Smith, who scored 3 touchdowns last week.
Smith about a step away from breaking this. This is a bread and butter play where they pull the guard and the left tackle, and brought down just in that second phase defensively, or he would have been gone to the house.
2nd and 3. Mac 4 and 3 overall, 3 and 2 in district. Brandon Henderson coming on a little late. He'll head out to the near side, play clock down to 5. 2nd and 3, they get it off. He'll give it to Smith, and Smith has a first down. Ball loose at the 28. And the Scots have it underneath that pile. Number 92 ends up with it.
Spencer Brown,
senior.
Yep, plays one of the defensive end positions. Kind of a unique celebration they have when they come off the sideline.
Well, Smith had the first down, but ball popped loose at the 28.
Let's see who put a hit on the helmet. Right about there, or did he just yank it? Yeah, he just pulled it out. He just straight up, White, pulled it out of him and yanked it out of the breadbasket.
So the Cards have to go back on defense. Stored, Hearns has this Cox, as Cox is piled up at the 23.
Looks just like those drills you see during off-season and during practice where a running back runs through a gauntlet and people are sticking their arms in there, their hands in there, trying to rip the ball loose. And that's exactly what happened there.
Oboe on the stop for the Cards. A gain of 5, second, and a nickel. Twin receivers cut to the near side. Brennan Storr will hand it off, and horse-collared at the 22-yard line, clotheslined. Who was that, number 40 in there quick? With Chester? Got him up high.
6 foot 236. There's 40 right side of your screen. Right there. Came through, so come back here.
Came up high on Wilson Axley.
Good arm strength.
3rd and 4 from the Cardinal 22. Storr, and behind the receiver who was going deep, it was well behind Grayson Schrank.
Got an injury on the field at the 5, one of the Cardinals DBs. Finally got his knee. He's holding that leg. The Cardinals just love to crisscross. They love to send the outside receiver deep. The guy that's just flanked to the left, they like him to come underneath it. Let that guy wide just open it up. And can't get a number, but whoever is injured got his knee twisted. Might have got it caught up in the turf.
That's
is that Nagachi, number 11?
Hobbs White. I believe that's number 17, Tristan Hobbs White, the deep linebacker, and he's down. As we said, the Scots were 10-2 last year, 6-0 in their district in Class 5A. 2 years ago, 11-1. And Rob, they were, this district with Longview, Sherman, and Tyler that they were in Class 5A, moved up to 6A this year.
And they're not missing a beat right now, at least. They haven't blown a lot of teams away, but they do what it takes to win the ball game.
Beat Jesuit by a touchdown, 35-28. One of the closer games this year.
These two teams, we talked about coming in, how offensively that was going to be the name of the game, at least statistic-wise. And you got MacArthur, 16th in the Metroplex. They're averaging about 419 yards a game. Then you've got Highland Park averaging 414 yards a game. They're both just shy of 3,000 yards for the season as Hobbs White comes up gimping a little bit. Because of the Cardinal speed, the corners, I noticed, were playing right up on the line of scrimmage. They were not giving Highland Park any pad whatsoever. They were daring them to go deep, and let's hope that Hobbs White is okay. But right now that knee looks a little suspect on this 4th down play. But look again, John, on this wide shot, the corners are right. They're not giving them much room off the line of scrimmage.
Dimitri Frizzell, number 27, takes over for Hobbs White on 4th and 4. The Cardinals will take a timeout.
Timeout.
Try to regroup
MacArthur,
on 4th
their
down.
first of the half.
Let's go ahead and take a look at our district standings coming in. We made a lot of the fact that Highland Park undefeated throughout the year at 7-0, 5-0 in district play. Then you got Jesuit right there in Lake Highlands. Those top 3 teams, I think any football aficionado would say those are the best 3 in the district. And that 4th place spot is up for grabs, and it's there for the taking for MacArthur tonight. They've got next week, I believe, they have to play Jesuit. So, I mean, they've got to win 1 or 2 of those games. You see right behind them Berkner and Pearson. They've already lost to Pierce, so they would lose the tiebreaker there. So, a big night in more ways than one for MacArthur if they want to continue playing football after the district season is over.
Last year it was Jesuit, Lake Highlands, Nimitz, and Berkner, your 4 playoff teams. 4th and 4 from the Cardinal 22. They're coming after Storr. He throws to the outside, has receiver caught. That's number 5, Jay Cox. Very active as a receiver and a running back, a slot back. And Cox and the Scots with another first down.
Jay's first catch of the night, good enough for a first. Keep that drive alive, and it all starts with the guys blocking up front. Even though Garza came blitzing in from the weak side, just could not get to him in enough time.
This following a Cardinal fumble for Highland Park. 1st and 10 at the 14. Another quick out pattern caught, and another reception for a bevy of receivers they have.
That's Herring there.
This time it's number 6. What did your math indicate? How many different players have touched the ball this year?
Close over a dozen.
Gain of 6.
Oh no, we're getting more like close to 30 players have touched the football.
From the 7, it'll be 2nd and 4. Maybe changing a play, got trip receivers to the near side. Quarterback draw. And wrapped up, not much of a gain at all for Brennan Storr.
Maybe a yard, if they're lucky at all.
Bondo, one of the 2 Cardinals on the stop.
Bondo had a good game last week. He has upped his game the last couple of times we've seen him on ICTN.
Cardinals opened the year defeating Woodrow Wilson, their first win of 2022. Then they lost to LD Bell, and a couple of wins over Nimitz and Richardson. Started out 3-1.
I bet they throw it.
3rd and 3. Storr running the deep pitch. Oh, well, that could be a pass. It's a touchdown, whatever it is, enough for the yardage. Jay Cox, as Storr unloaded right even with the line of scrimmage.
They like running that to the short side. And Cox ran it in for the touchdown at the 152 mark here in the first quarter.
That makes it a 9-0 score. Jack Tansey with a PAT, and
nope,
it is no good as he pushed it, and it will remain 9-0.
Storr, left side, just waits to the last second. Not a lot of pursuit in the open field. There was no one there to pick up Cox after the option. Look at it from down the line. They get a nice seal block by Pickelman, 71, and that pretty much seals the edge, and there's no one there to pick up Cox on the option play, and he just tippy-toes that one down the sideline for the score.
So the turnover will cost the Cardinals 6. And the Scots set to kick off with 1:52 to go in the opening quarter.
If you count running and receiving, that is the 15th touchdown of the year for Cox. And there's an institution right there. Randy Allen, the Highland Park head coach.
Winningest active coach in the state, 431 wins. Announced his retirement in 2018, but it didn't last long.
No, it didn't. it seemed like it lasted about 4 weeks.
He was uneasy.
Nah, he's like, no, this is not for me.
So a 9-0 lead. Regas hits it, hangs it up high. Smith will watch it hit at the 15. He'll scoop it up at the 14. Darrell Smith, and is taken down at the 21.
He fumbled it, but they called him down on the play.
So the third possession from Mac with 1:47 to work with here in the first quarter.
One turnover, one penalty combined by both teams. So a pretty clean first quarter game. A fast-paced game here in the first quarter.
Khalil Fly, a wide out on the far side. Backup quarterback for the Cards, number 2.
We're still waiting for that first catch to Henderson, number 22.
Casas Willis, quick out pattern. Caught, that's Henderson at the 26. Is shoved back. First catch for Brandon Henderson. 26 catches on the year, 800 yards.
Not only the first catch, John, but the first completion of the night. Third attempt, and they take advantage of that space, that cushion that Highland Park is affording them there on the corner.
They spot it at the 27. 2nd and 3. Smith to the right of Casas Willis. 3 receivers to the far side. Casas Willis rolls to the right. pumps it once and short arms it. You had Smith in the area, but well out of his reach, and will bring up third down.
They just waited just a little too long to come up with that. Scoring-wise, Highland Park, they've got 308 points total. That ranks 6th in the Metroplex, averaging 44 points a game. MacArthur, no slouch, averaging just 4 points less, and they need some of those points on this drive.
3rd and 3 from the Cardinal 27. District 7-6A matchup tonight on this 21st of October. Casas Willis is hounded. He throws, and a receiver slipped down at the 35, but Rob may have been a little bit too tall anyway, intended for Henderson.
Yeah, I think the fact that perhaps maybe the pressure getting to the quarterback a little bit, it seems like his receivers are not on the same page, at least here in the first quarter.
Number 5, Jay Cox, drops back at his own 40, awaiting the punt. So Becerra standing at his 13. Good pass from center. Very, very high. It flutters, and Cox is leveled, and that'll cost the Cards 15.
Okay, in Nagacha's defense, or whoever hit him, or Horda, that was a last-minute, last-second fair catch.
It was quick.
Very quick.
But the marker dropped by the...
And 2 of the markers dropped. So that's...
Yeah, that was Chapter.
That's when you need your teammates to say, fair catch, so you don't run into it.
Late hit, number 11, MacArthur.
So the Cards will back up.
First down.
As they step off the yardage, here's another
See,
look.
There's just one little quick, and it was Nagacha, number 11. And now they start in pretty good field position.
15-yard march off, spotted at the Cardinal 37. 9-0 our count with 1:23 to go here in quarter number 1. Play action, crossing pattern, caught at the 20. How did he hang on to that? Jackson Heiss. Heiss with Velcro. Post pattern, and what a catch by number 3.
Yeah, first catch of the ball game. He is their leading receiver. You can see why. Ran just a post right across the middle. A zip in by Storr. And he made the catch. Not only did he make the catch, but he hung on while Frizzell, 27, who's in for Hobbs White on the corner.
Storr hung it on the line and the reception. Storr will keep it to the 15, slides to maybe the 14. He touched at the 15, so a 3-yard pickup.
Julian Garza brings him down.
He hasn't done too much damage with his feet per se, but it's just all the time he has. Number one, he doesn't have just one guy he can go to as a receiver. He's got 4 equally talented receivers, but the guys up front are giving him a lot of time to throw the football. So do you blitz?
2nd and 7 from the 15. Well, they kind of hold off. He has time right over the middle, caught, and trying to skip to the outside to the 5, to the double stripe, and in there for the touchdown on the short pass. Able to stay in bounds and put more points on the board for the Scots.
Yep, Herring, number 6, 15-yard touchdown. And I would bet they will go for 2.
Yeah, let's see, the O-line, you got Cox in there, and they will. So Herring, number 6, on the receiving end. They'll go for 2. The fake to Cox. Storr has a man wide open in the back corner of the end zone and hauled in by Luke Herring. He did it all.
He gets 8 points. So for Herring, that is touchdown number 7 for the year. No stat for 2-point conversion, but he'll take it. And now it's a 17-0 game. Here is the touchdown. It's just a crossing pattern. They clear everyone out. He's a big target and a big receiver, and all he had to do was break a tackle from ground level. Watch it here. Needs just to get past one guy, and Keyshawn Ford couldn't wrap him up. And Herring goes into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. See, look at all of the space that they cleared out coming across, and all Storr had to do is just be patient and wait for the throw and the score.
Wide open spaces as they cleared that area out. Minute 44 seconds from the last Jay Cox touchdown, as Herring now ups the count. Nicholas Regas on the kickoff. And Darrell Smith at the 15. 20, Smith wrapped up at the 24. 9-yard return for the Cards with 4 seconds left in the quarter.
The running game has had its moments. Smith has had a few good runs, but they just seem to go back once they get 1 or 2 good plays, and they'll either have a penalty called against them or they'll make a mistake and they have to start back from scratch. But let's see if they can get Smith involved. Not a lot offensively, John. They've come up with about 30 yards on offense here in the first quarter.
Unbalanced line, they swing it out to the right. It is caught, and a gain of close to 5 on the final play of the first quarter. That's number 18, first catch for Jacoby Simmons, the senior. So that'll do it here. Quarter number 1, our District 7 6A matchup. Our score, Highland Park 17 and MacArthur nothing. And welcome back to Joy and Ralph Ellis Stadium. Our first play of quarter number 2, 17-0. The Cardinals trail it. They have it 2nd and 6 from the 29. Darrell Smith, 35. Look at him turn and burn, and Smith piled up at the 45.
John, that's the first down of the ball game for MacArthur. Look at Smith again. He can really mix things up when they key on the offensive passing about this team. And if you can get Smith in the open field, that's what he can do for you.
Well, he faked William White out of his Nikes and able to gain another 7 yards. From the 45, 1st and 10 Cards. Up the middle. And the knee touched around the 47. Gain of just a couple of yards. Break up 2nd and 8.
Almost ran up the back of one of his offensive linemen, Hernandez, number 78.
Gain of 3. 2nd and 7 at the 48.
Still way too early to hit the panic button. You've got some outstanding players. Right now the big matchup is Henderson on the bottom part of the screen. And he's going to go, he is up against number 9, Adam Rourke. And Rourke now gives him some space.
It's Smith looking for some daylight. Penalty marker comes in from the near side as Smith goes down at midfield.
Now that's usually against the offensive line, unless it was a face mask.
Face mask. 57, out of car. 50 yards of middle run. Automatic, first down.
See how windy it is. The ruffled pants of the official tonight. Wind has picked up in intensity.
Let's see if it's right here. Oh, yeah, good call. Grabbing him around this White, William White, number 11.
So that'll cost the Scots. 15 is placed at the Highland Park 35.
First penalty against the Scots tonight.
Trying to get the receiver set. Henderson comes in. Now he comes back out to the far. He's the outside receiver, Henderson, number 22. On 1st and 10, Darrell Smith taken down 2 yards behind the line. Nice wrap up by Spencer Brown.
Spencer played at home. Didn't go for the fake. Didn't go for any kind of fake. Just stood his ground and made a nice open field tackle.
Loss of 2, 2nd and a dozen.
Doesn't happen very often to Smith.
Going to send Simmons, the lone receiver, to the left. Now jogging over to his area is Henderson. To the near side is Khalil Fly. 2nd and 12. Casas Willis hold everything. Linesman on the far side that may have started a little early. Procedure on the Cards. Bring up 2nd and 17.
Ball start. Number 22, MacArthur. 5-yard penalty. Remains.
Third penalty.
2nd down.
For the Cards.
Casas Willis last week, 22 of 28, 319 yards. Overall, 349 yards of passing.
This is homecoming, so we will have the homecoming queen in her court at the break when we come back after the second quarter is over.
Going to have it all.
Maybe some lemon bars if I can make it to the press box in time.
From the 42, caught in traffic, working his way close to the 35 is Littleton. Nice catch by the junior, one of 29 on the roster.
Talk about these quarterbacks, and Willis has attempted a handful more, but look at this. What I look at is the percentage. They're both at 64%. And the touchdowns. They're both at 20 each. And, hey, it's nothing to sneeze at their interception ratio either. Just 3 between the two of them. That is outstanding.
Yeah, as many passes as they have thrown. Outstanding number. 3rd and long from the 36. To Smith, coming right. Durrell, bumped back, reverses, looking for an avenue, and is swallowed up at the 45. Well, 6 working on 1.
Yeah, the pursuit caught up with him. That's one of those where you tell your defensive guys, don't give up on a play just when it looks like you've got a guy trapped, because there was nowhere for Smith to go.
Spotted at the 44. It's 4th and close to 20. Oh, Becerra, number 85. In punt formation.
Second punt of the night for MacArthur. Highland Park's had to punt once.
Jay Cox back deep. Here comes a rush. Got rid of it very, very high. It's a spinner. Hits at the 28. Takes a Highland Park bounce the other way and down at the 34. So a couple of punts, a turnover, and the ball going over on downs. The possession so far for MacArthur.
Looking at some of the past games, for Highland Park, it's not like even though they've scored a lot of points, they haven't blown a lot of people out. Yeah, their margin has been about 14 points, except that Lake Highland game. They turned it on pretty good against Lake Highlands, winning that one 52-21. But there's 2 or 3 of those games they only won by a couple of touchdowns.
Storr under duress throws to the near side. That's Schrank. Schrank trying to turn it outside. He does, and is tossed hard out of bounds at the 39.
A lot of running for 5 yards.
Garza on the takedown. Leading tackler last year, close to 100 stops for the Cards. That's a gain of close to 6. Call it 2nd and 4.
John, you can always tell Randy Allen's kids are well coached. They know where to go. They know their place. That was set up really nice.
From the 39, Cox now with a shift to the right. He's out on the right flat, catches it, and fights off a tackle. 45, breaks into the secondary, and thrown out of bounds in Cardinal territory near the 48. Able to break loose of a stop as soon as he got it. And another first down for Highland Park.
It's one of those you try to throw your body at a guy to tackle him, and sometimes just throwing your body at someone doesn't work. He tried it there. That was Keyshawn Ford, number 3, but you got to wrap up.
From the 48, Storr floods the backs. Screen pass to the middle, 40, 35, 30, 25, inside the 20 and tossed out of bounds. He has been so active here in this first half. Jay Cox running, catching, and scoring.
It was like a 30-yard pickup.
Right on the 20.
Just a basic screenplay. And I say basic, but once again, your linemen, they have to do what they're taught, and they get out there and put helmet on bodies, and he's able to pick up some mammoth yardage.
1st and 10 at the Cardinal 20. Storr wants to go to the air, has a man in the end zone. It's one-on-one, almost intercepted, almost caught, and knocked away. 3 things happening as they hung it up for Heiss.
Also a flag in the end zone.
He had some hand fighting, some shoving, grabbing. There's Beck-Nicholas.
Trying to get his point across.
Number 27, MacArthur. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
3rd penalty against MacArthur, pass interference.
Again, last week they had 127 yards in penalties. There's the end result.
Ooh, he almost caught it.
He did. So it's put at the 5. 1st and goal from the 5. Number 27 on the handoff. That's Musa. Frank Musa, senior at 5'7" and 170. At the 1, right at the lip of the cup, 2nd and goal.
First time he's touched the ball. Carried 13 times coming into tonight's game. Everybody plays. Everybody plays for Highland Park.
3 deep and then some. 2nd and goal. Quarterback draw. Storr just runs over Ford and scores another TD.
Make it look easy, don't they, John?
That methodical, the penalty-aided drive, but able to get points on their 5th possession. Extra point attempt is up and over the crossbar. It is good. So with 5:56 to go, the Cardinals now trail by a bunch.
Storr just to his left. Quarterback draw, quarterback keeper, whatever you want to say. He ran off the left side of that line with Basso and Pickleman doing the blocking. They've got a good team. They've got a lot of big players on this team.
Now 24-0. 5 possessions and 4 scores.
If I recall, John, I think they flirted with the highest classification a few years back. It lasted like, the 2-year round where they changed it every 2 years, and they were back down to 5A.
Yeah, the last 2 years, they were 21-3. 24-0. And number 54 set to do it again. That's Nicholas Regas.
Matt Stafford came out, a couple of weeks ago at halftime. Highland Park game.
Retired his jersey. Highlander Stadium off of Lover's Lane, a true neighborhood park, field, stadium.
Not a lot of parking. Just park in the street. Worked a few games there. You have to get there 2 hours in advance just to park in the street.
Elevator to the press box?
None.
Still sans elevator.
It was when I went, but that's a few years ago. I bet it's still the same.
So a 24-0 lead. And this one will come out to the 25. That's about 70 yards in the air as it hits a crossbar.
And Daniel Turner, number 54, a sophomore. Pretty good leg on him, huh?
I'll take it.
Yeah. I think he's excited he got to kick it away. What? No pooch kick? Are you kidding me?
Regas and Tansey doing the brunt of the kicking this year for the 25. Possession number 6.
What can MacArthur do offensively?
They'll just hang on to the ball and try to have a sustained long drive.
Remember, they get the ball to start the second half. So a score before halftime and get the ball back to start the second half could do wonders.
Casas Willis flings it out to the near side. It is caught. He's in retreat mode and will lose yardage. It's going to be a 2-yard loss.
First time they try to get that edge, that was Simmons, 18.
Mac Ballard, one of the two in on the tackle for the Scots. Officially a yard loss, 2nd and 11.
We'll take a look at stats at halftime. It's not going to be pretty for the red machine. Smith has picked up a few yards, but they pretty much handcuffed Henderson with only 1 catch so far.
On the 24, Casas Willis throws. It is bobbled at the 30, in and out of the hands of Henderson.
Well, they had him.
Open, should have had the catch.
Yep, he took off like he was going to just take off and run straight down the sideline for a fly pattern, but then peeled off and was open.
It'll bring up 3rd and 11. Cards last year finished 3-4 in the district. They come into tonight with a 3-2 mark.
You can't see in that picture, but they're running a safety over the top against Henderson tonight.
From the 24 on the chase, and just to get rid of it, over the head of Darrell Smith. And the Cards will have to punt it away with 5 minutes left in the first half. Their 3rd punt.
That last play, Brady Dotrey, number 24, one of the safeties, edged his coverage over to where Henderson was at, and that's why they haven't really thrown a lot to Henderson tonight. You're throwing into double coverage.
Cox and Grayson Schrank back deep. Becerra in punt formation. Bounces, he's in trouble, and will go on at the 5. Wrapped up at the 5 on a bad snap. And it'll be 1st and goal, Highland Park. Well, things beginning to disintegrate here in the first half with each possession.
Unravel, that would be a good thing. Adam Rourke, number 9, who's been playing a lot of defense tonight. Just a low snap. There is Rourke right on it. He didn't even run past it, didn't try to pick it up. All he did was wrap up the punter and serve his offense with a short field.
So the Scots, smelling blood, have Musa and Cox in the backfield. And this is Cox, and Cox with an adjustment, able to sidestep a couple of defenders to the left. He cut back to the right, untouched from 7 yards out.
They make it look easy, don't they?
I got broken the record and ups the count now to 30. 2nd touchdown run tonight for Jay Cox.
9 different players for Highland Park have touched the ball tonight. Cox with excellent vision on that handoff. Just waited for the hole to open up. And they answer the muffed punt in just 1 play. Look at the left tackle just opening up the big hole. That was Pickelman, number 71, leading the charge, and those offensive linemen doing a number there on the interior.
Yeah, the old line, 4 seniors and a sophomore. So Jay Cox with a couple of touchdown runs. Luke Herring with a touchdown catch. Stower with a 1-yard run. And getting out of hand here at 31-0 with 4:49 left in the first half.
Well, their 2 biggest wins of the season coming to the hands of Irving Schools over Irving High, 63-0, and then last week over Nimitz, 51-6.
So Nicholas Regas Jr., there's Henderson. One of the 2 men back deep for MacArthur. In the air, and Again, like a broken record, will come out to the 25. No chance of a return. Last 3 possessions, the Cardinals have started from the 25. Next week, Highland Park will entertain Richardson, and they close out the regular season at J.J. Pierce on November the 4th. That'll do it for the regular season.
Not very long trips for Highland Park over in the Richardson area. This game and all the games that we come out to shoot are on the City of Irving YouTube site. Watch this one online, youtube.com/the City of Irving, or you can enter your team, say, hey, Irving versus MacArthur, and those will pop up on the search bar as well.
Quick pass caught at the 26 and dropped at the 27. It's number 18, Jacoby Simmons. He has 3 touchdown catches this year. Clock moving, 4:31 to go in the half.
John, we pretty much thought coming in that MacArthur would have to get some help from other members of the offense, that both Smith and Henderson would be covered pretty good. And they still have a safety over the top, kind of edging there at the top of the screen if you look there.
Here they come. They show blitz on the chase as Casas Willis, and taken down hard at the 31. Had a number of Scots in the area.
That was not a gentle tackle.
Able to make something out of it. It'll be 3rd and 5. That was a hard takedown.
Man.
Turf burn.
Got hit pretty hard there. Watch. Thought there for a second maybe a Scot had gone off sides, but he was wrapped up pretty good by Spencer Brown, number 92, tackling high.
Kyle Carlson also there, number 99, senior. 3rd and 5 at the 31. And hold everything as Casas Willis about to give it to Darrell Smith.
Timeout.
Somebody take a timeout.
MacArthur, their second timeout of the half.
Had to be Mack on the near side as they
was.
called the timeout with 3:16 left in the first half.
Absolutely. They are looking at a 3rd and 5. 3:16 is an eternity on the clock. They're trying to look for anything, some sort of spark offensively that can get this Cardinal offense back on track.
Cards close out the regular season at Berkner on November 4th. Homecoming night, big crowd on the west side.
John, do you remember when you got your first phone? It wasn't that young.
Not an iPhone, just first phone, period.
It was in a bag, right?
It was a smaller
okay.
model, AT&T.
I remember work gave us a phone, and it was in a bag. I think it was very heavy.
Not a flip.
Not portable, no.
From the 31, swing pass out on the flat. He is caught, and here come a trio of Scots defensively to surround and drop Henderson.
They're not going to let him beat us. They're not going to let him. That's all there is to it. Just an outstanding job pursuit-wise.
Trying to do some misdirection, and that following a timeout, and here's punt number 4.
I tell you, Adam Rourke, number 9, right there at the bottom of your screen, has had a very good first half. Very good tacklers. They wrap up.
This one headed to Schrank. Gathers it in at the 49. And Schrank crosses midfield and goes down at the MacArthur 48. He may get up a little slow. Grayson Schrank, and he's down. May have twisted something.
Maybe.
And we'll have a stoppage here with 2:25 left in the first half.
Highland Park always had the numbers on the side of their helmet out of stars before. Just on one side of the helmet. I don't remember seeing that before.
I can't remember someone right down the middle. as he hobbles to the sidelines.
One side of the helmet gets the numbers, unless they're just using those stickers you get when you make a good play and they're making a number out of it.
6-time state champion. First one back in 1945 under the great Rusty Russell. Doak Walker, the Bobby Lane years. Had 45 Letterman returning this year. And they take over at the card 49.
They have enough players on that sideline to field 3 teams, don't they?
They complete the rest of the week. Storer, flush from the pocket, hangs it up high, one-on-one, and just out of the reach at the goal line.
Tried to hit Herring again.
He had Herring open. And
favorite receiver tonight, John. He's dialed his name up a few times.
Herring with a post pattern, just out of his reach at the goal line. They try to go deep on first down. Wilson Axley stays in the backfield.
Tried to hit that home run and almost did it. Looking at Cox there, one of the other big players here in the first half.
Axley and Cox in the backfield. The fake to Axley. Storer left side. And bumping, shoving, contact, and no flag.
That should have been offensive pass interference.
Little push off there.
Yeah.
By Hale.
Yeah, Hale was pushing off with the right arm right when the ball was in the air. I'm surprised they didn't throw the flag on that play.
Colin Hale, senior. So they try to go deep again. It'll be 3rd and a dime with 2:09 left in the half.
That surprised you, John? Back-to-back home run throws?
Not with the receivers they have.
Well, up 31-0. I thought maybe they just run out the clock.
They were limited in practice.
I guess so.
Caught on a down-and-out pattern, now cutting it back and picking up an additional 4 yards to the 30 is Heiss.
John, he's caught 2 passes, and both times are for about 20 yards.
Bullet pass to Heiss.
And you know what opened up that play was those 2 previous long attempts to the end zone.
Oh, the secondary is gassed for the Cardinals from the
have
30. Low snap, Storer on the run. Throws, and there's Lilly. Bo Lilly in the corner.
30-yarder.
So Bo Lilly now gets into the act.
That's what I said about everybody. Everyone gets the opportunity.
Equal opportunity score and more points.
Yes, that last name should be familiar. Bob Lilly's grandson.
Jack Tansey. The extra point is true and through. Makes it a 38-0 count.
Bo's dad, just like the granddad, also went to TCU. Look at the space there. Good concentration. Storer really good about throwing the ball on the run off the back foot. Had about 3 or 4 yards on the defender Ford, Henry Ford. Just had him deep, right on the numbers.
There's another name, Rob, that football fans might be familiar with. There's a linebacker for the Scots. He's a senior, Tommy Rossley, grandson of Tom Rossley, coached SMU in the early to mid-90s. Had a heck of a game earlier this year against Jesuit.
That was a game to have a good game against.
Yeah, it was. Had 15 tackles in that game. So they can just name their score here, and they have in the first half. 38-0. And another sky-scraping kickoff.
The wind is blowing out of the south, right to left. Not to downplay the strength of the leg of the kicker. Plenty of practice here in the first half. Homecoming. MacArthur's like, homecoming? Against against Highland Park?
Schedule is right.
The schedule fell, and it fell wrong.
So the Cards kind of a hang down look, not much of a bounce to the step as they take over at the 25. How about a jailbreak by Darrell Smith? He's to the left. He'll stay in the block. And he'll take the short pass and go down. Lost his footing at the 13.
That pretty much sums up the night, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it pretty much does. And Costas Willis, he's shaken up.
They did have Fly in there at the top of the screen, running just one straight down the sideline.
Now the Cards will at any point of the season get a little afford to lose their senior quarterback. Couldn't tell if he twisted something on the release or just turned the other way when he let it go, but is able to walk off unattended.
High school kids are so resilient.
He'll be back.
Yep, here comes the rush, and he has two players land on him. That's probably might have bruised the knee when you have about 500, 600 pounds falling on top of you.
It's a loss of 12. It'll set up 2nd and 22.
That'll bring Fly in at quarterback, number 2, I believe. He was out there anyway as a receiver.
2nd and 22 at the 13.
Khalil Fly.
Yep.
Number 2, Fly.
Now running the show.
Quarterback.
Ball spotted at the 13. Deep in MAC territory, it's a running play to Smith, and Smith is sideswiped and goes down at the 15.
Judge Ellis, number 95, the first to make contact. And you see a lot of those Cardinals with a little wobble and a hobble in their step as they go to the sideline.
Gain of a couple.
They can just, there is Smith right there, shaking up a little bit, holding his right leg, right foot. 3rd and 20. They do have to snap the ball.
21 points in this quarter for the Scots. 3rd and 20. And Smith going nowhere.
That's Rossley. You just talked about him. How often does that happen? Tommy Rossley, number 40. Such quickness on those linebackers. They just cut the gap and really didn't enable the running back to get any motivation or just gap in there to get any yardage whatsoever.
And that will do it. Halftime here at Joy and Ralph Ellis Stadium. It is all Highland Park as the Scots dominating MAC 38-0. Back with halftime stats, highlights, and homecoming activities on the other side.
It's been all Highland Park for the first 2 quarters of the ball game, 38-0 over the Cardinals on this homecoming night in 2022 in Irving, Texas. Beautiful night for football, a good crowd. We've just been entertained by the Highland Park Scott Band, and now we're going to introduce you to the homecoming queen and her court. Since it is homecoming time, we'll introduce you to the court and eventually the homecoming queen. So let's go down to the field.
He is proud of his perfect attendance record. In his spare time, Jacob volunteers at the Irving Libraries. After high school, he plans to attend the University of North Texas and then pursue a career in real estate. He is escorted this evening by his mother, Claudia Esquivel, and his brother, Claudio. Michaela Harrington. Michaela is a member of your MacArthur Cardettes and is a first lieutenant dance officer for the team. She is a magna cum laude student She has been the most valuable Cardette for her junior year and has won the Cardette Spirit of the Week for both her junior and senior year. She volunteers at the Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals in Dallas. After graduating MacArthur, she plans to major in animal biology to pursue a career as a veterinarian. She is escorted this evening by her parents, Cydia and Kenneth Harrington. Lyndon Casas Willis. Lyndon is a member of your MacArthur Cardinal varsity football team. He is also a member of the student council. In his free time, he enjoys playing video games. After graduating from MacArthur, he plans to pursue a career in dentistry. He is escorted this evening by his parents, Bianca and Nick Willis. Stephanie Gallardo. Stephanie is the senior class president, FCCLA president, and the National Technical Honor Society president. She was the Region 2 vice president of membership for FCCLA and is a member of the Superintendent's Advisory Council. She has received the 2019 Principal Leadership Award and the Hospitality National Silver Medal. Stephanie is a summa cum laude scholar. She contributes to her community by volunteering at Keeping Irving Beautiful, a Heart for the Homeless food drive, and retirement homes through St. Luke's Church. She plans to major in biology with a pre-dental path in order to become an orthodontist. She is escorted this evening by her mother, Penelope Altamirano. Greg Crowfoot. Greg is a current member of the MacArthur Academic Decathlon Team, the National Honor Technical Society, and the Secretary of the National Honor Society, and he is the choir president. He has been a member of All Region Choir and an area choir alternate. He is a summa cum laude scholar from 9th grade to present. Greg helps his community by volunteering his time at the Irving Children's Chorus. He plans to attend Texas A&M University and major in aerospace engineering. He is escorted tonight by his mother, Andrea Hobson. Abigail Caballo. Abigail is a current member of the MacArthur varsity volleyball team. She volunteers her time at her church doing photography, videography, and projects as a creative team member. She plans to attend Texas State University to study education or music management. After graduation, Abby plans to pursue a career in teaching. She is escorted by her mom and dad, Nancy and Jose Cabello. Julian Garza. Julian is a MacArthur varsity football captain and senior class senator. He is also a member of the National Honor Society. He has received first team all-district linebacker and has 11 years of perfect attendance. He also has been a summa cum laude scholar from 9th grade to present. He plans to attend the University of Texas at Austin and major in health and criminology. He wishes to pursue a career as a criminal psychologist. He is escorted by his mother, Valerie Candelaria. Abigail Baker. Abby is a member of the MacArthur varsity volleyball team, the fire truck crew, and the National Honor Society. On the volleyball court, she has been named Defensive Player of the Year, Most Outstanding, and received academic all-district and all-district honorable mention. Abby was named MacArthur Student of the Year in 9th, 10th, and 11th grades, and she received the Superstar Award for the City of Irving. She volunteers in the nursery at her church and coaches spring and summer volleyball leagues for the City of Irving. Her future plans consist of going to college to study education. She is escorted by her mother and father, Alicia and Chris Baker. Gabriel Perez Gaines. Gabriel is a current captain of the MacArthur varsity tennis team, a senior class officer, and a student council member. He has won Student of the Week as well as Student of the Month. He also has been a summa cum laude scholar from 9th grade to present. He helps his community by volunteering his time with elderly people at a senior care facility. He plans to attend the University of Texas at Austin, majoring in health and society with pre-med requisites. He wishes to pursue a career as a radiologist. He is escorted by his mother, Vanessa Perez. Fans, let's give these MacArthur High School seniors a well-deserved round of applause. They are all honorable representatives of MacArthur High School. And now for the moment you've been waiting for. It is with great pleasure that we present to you MacArthur's 2022 Homecoming Queen, Miss Abigail Baker. The Homecoming Queen tiara is being presented by Emily Towler, our Student Council sponsor. The Queen Sash is being presented by MacArthur Principal Natasha Stewart. Fans, the MacArthur Homecoming King will be crowned during the dance tomorrow night. Let's give a round of applause for our Queen and our finalists as they exit the field. Congratulations, students.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. That's not what I'm talking about, Danilo.
Well, congratulations to Abigail Baker, the MacArthur Homecoming Queen, part of the crew. 2 members represented in the court tonight, and one of them named Homecoming Queen. Congratulations to Abigail. Well, on the field, it's been pretty much all Highland Park. One bright spot after Highland Park had a 3-0 lead after a field goal. The kickoff to Smith almost broke that one down the sideline to give MacArthur a pretty good field position. They couldn't do anything with it. They turned it over with the penalty. And then from there on out, it's pretty much this offense just running like they're running downhill. The pitch there to Jay Cox. The option is good. Extra point was missed and made it 6-0. Storr had a great game throwing the ball. A lot of underneath stuff. That's kind of the bread and butter. Storr to Luke Herring. Herring scores the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. And then after a couple more touchdowns by Highland Park, they finished it off with this 30-yard toss to Bo Lilly. Extra point good, 38-0. That's where we stand at the break. Look at your stats, and as one might expect, it's all Highland Park. 13 first downs. They had 247 total yards. And what's underneath it just as impressive? No turnovers, only 1 penalty. Well-coached team. They do what it takes. They know their assignment. They tackle well. And the defense, which may not get a lot of pub for HP, doing a number on the Cardinals tonight because the offense has really been shut down here in the first half. So the score at the break, 38-0 in favor of Highland Park. Now let's go back down to the field where we have the MacArthur Cardinal drill team that will be performing here at the half.
Lieutenant Sofia Flores Lepe. Social officers are President Jada Doggett, Sophia Culpepper, Maya Trujillo, and Haley Lopez. Cadet of the Week is Sophia Culpepper. Spirit of the Week, Michaela Romero. Rookie of the Week, Chadney Givens. Teacher of the Week, Ms. Sakato. Tonight, the ladies will be performing their traditional Cadet cane routine to honor the Cadet legacy. We dedicate this performance to all Cadet alumni here this evening. And now, step high, Cardets, it's showtime. Captivating Cardettes are under the direction of Ms. Neosha White. Thank you to the Cardette sponsors, Angel Tucker and Sandra Cole of Cruise Planners Travel Agency.
At the half, the Cardettes with a nice little performance here at the break. And let's take a break, and we'll be back with the third quarter in a moment.
John Nelson back with Rob Woolman as you see the Scots take the field as we get set to play half number 2. A 38-0 count so far for Highland Park, and the Cards will receive the second half kickoff. So Brandon Henderson and Ford dropping back deep. Whether they come close to touching it's another story. They haven't. The way that the Scots kick off, Darrell Smith also back deep.
Turner's been showing off the leg tonight with all the kickoffs.
See how he hammers this one. There's a whistle, and the second half is underway. Darrell Smith has it sail over his head, and like a broken record, the Cardinals start from their own 25.
Let's see about the mindset of the Cardinals. Down by 38. Thought you had a thing going offensively. You haven't had anything going offensively. Nothing seems to work, and it would be very easy just to kind of mail it in. Heck, we saw OU mail it in against Texas a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, as soon as the second quarter started.
Yeah.
But the Cards just 2 first downs, minus in the passing, not much on the ground.
Nice to see Willis back in there.
Yeah, I was going to say Casas Willis back in at quarterback.
Oh, check that.
No,
nope, it's Fly.
It's Fly. Marius Walker now in as a receiver number 4. So Khalil Fly starting the second half. He'll turn, he'll hand it off to Smith, looking for a block, has a block, 30, 35, and Smith to the 41. A nice 16-yard gain on first down for Darrell Smith. Had a run last week of 76 to pay dirt. One of his 3 touchdowns.
You have to watch Fly as a runner as well, so they kind of have that 1-2 running punch in the backfield. Gets the edge, and one of those few missed tackles by Highland Park gets the first down.
So Khalil Fly in relief of Glendon Casas Willis. 1st and 10 from the 41. Trying to compress it, and the Scots able to get to Fly. He goes down to the 47. Gain of about 4.
Looking at some of the players getting the start in the second half for Highland Park. A few backups as we take a look at Fly turning the corner.
One of those is Tom MacArthur, number 94. MacArthur, a senior.
Henry Richter, number 97, one of the backup defensive ends. We're going to see some fresh faces out there, I think, in the second half.
4-man front, 2nd and 4. Here's Smith over the left side. He's piled up. Not much of anything as Smith flattened hard. And on the stop is Warren Peck, number 12. Peck also can play quarterback. Oh, give him the 49. Make it 3rd and 3.
Not much of a hurry.
Not much at all. Simmons and Henderson awaiting the play. Their receiver split to the near side.
Highland Park, they still use those posters to call in plays. That used to be such a big thing, and now they're still using it.
Fly trying to gain the 3 yards. He's 2 yards. He's about 2 yards short, trying to take it over the left side. And able to pick up the yardage. Peck again, as well as Giese. I believe that, it's not Peck, that's Giese. Giese is the cornerback.
Yep, Weston, number 12. They have 2 12s on the team. They have a lot of duplicates. I mean, if you look on the far sideline, you can see why. They've got like 100 kids out there.
Weston Giese is a junior. 4th and 2 from midfield. From the gun, going with a hard count. And Smith denied. In fact, he loses a yard, and the Scots have held.
Not a lot of room for Mr. Smith to run between tackles tonight. Giese, again, number 12, had a good series defensively. It's really hard to think that Highland Park has done anything wrong here.
Well, they didn't punt. They didn't punt at all last week. They've only had 1 punt tonight.
Oh, they're going backwards, aren't they?
Okay.
A lot of work to do, John.
Be a tough week of practice.
Yeah. That special team out there.
Storr comes out of throwing. It's caught. Here's 5. Here's a gain of 8 on 1st and 10. Quick pass and run to Jackson Heiss. 5 different Scots scoring in the first half.
5 different Scots receiving the football. That's the 21st attempted pass by Storr tonight.
2nd and short. At the Cardinal 41. Handoff coming left and diving to the 38, and enough yardage for a first down. Number 27, Frank Musa.
Second time Frank has handled the ball out of the backfield.
Scots had 13 first downs and 183 yards of passing in the first half.
You look at this Scott team, at least on the ground attack, with 4 players with about 100 yards or more coming into tonight's game. Not that one marquee running back, if you will.
Here's Axley on the sweep. Cuts it back against the grain. Axley taken down at the 32. Is it going to be a ground and pound? Is that the MO with a 38-0 lead?
Well, I mean, they did throw one earlier tonight. Heiss in this series. I think they'll mix it up, but I believe they'll run the ball a little bit more.
Herring wide left. 2nd and 3 from the Cardinal 32. Brennan Storr. Here's the handoff. Axley fades one, sidesteps another defender, has a first down, stays in bounds inside the 15.
Nifty little run.
He'll be back next year, number 36.
What we call a shifty running back. Makes one guy miss, little head fake there, makes another. Goes right past number 11, Nagacha.
Yeah, he whiffed on that one.
He did, didn't he?
It's inside the 10. 1st and goal from the 8. Axley, touchdown. 8-yard scamper for Wilson Axley. Wasting no time on a short 50-yard drive.
Looked too easy.
So the 6th different Scot to score.
His 2nd touchdown running the football this year.
And the extra point is perfect, which ups the count now to 45 zip.
Look at that hole on the right side. Will Ogle, number 72, look top of your screen. He pretty much just zips off 2 defensive players and enables Axley just to go right up the middle.
Ogle a sophomore.
Yeah. Yeah, with that type of blocking, if you've got a line like that at your disposal, everybody has a chance to score, don't they?
You could have driven our production truck through that hole.
Oh, yeah, maybe so. Once it gets going.
So the 8-yard run by Axley and the PAT. Highland Park came in averaging 44. And set to kick off with 6:57 left in the 3rd. Number 54 set to do the honors, Nicholas Regas. And Smith watches it bounce and go over the end line, and will come out to the 25.
Here's the Highland Park schedule, what they have remaining after tonight. They've got Richardson, and then they have Richardson-Pierce. So, you know, odds would say they can run the table. Their toughest 2 games coming in was going to be Lake Highlands and Jesuit. Berkner gave them a little bit of a game. Lake Highlands didn't, but it was pretty much Jesuit that kept it close. So they've got two more before postseason. You know, you go by enrollment, they'd have to be small school 6A.
Small, yeah. 6th time the Cards have started from the 25. Caught out in the left flat. That's Henderson. No gain.
I got that as only his 2nd catch of the night, John.
What did he come in with? He came in 45 catches for 1,050 yards.
Yeah, averaging 23 yards a catch.
11 touchdowns.
That was not going to happen tonight.
2nd and 10 from the 25. Khalil fly. He'll turn. Here's Smith. 30. Smith crosses the 35. Has a first down. Somersaults to the 40. Nice 15-yard pickup.
I pretty much believe, John, Highland Park is willing to give up the running game, and they pretty much teed off and concentrated on the passing game.
Ethan Burke with a tackle. They're going to bend. They don't want to break here, though.
Yeah, corners are playing back.
Here's Smith looking for any kind of running room, and there's a late flag as Smith is mugged hard out of bounds.
Could have been Nathan Harper, number 20, came in late. Might have grabbed him by the shoulder pads or the back of the pads for the horse collar.
Personal foul, face mask.
Face mask.
Number 28, Highland Park. 15 yards from the run.
From the
Automatic.
spot of the foul,
First
says
down.
referee David Tucker. It'll cost the Scots 15.
Only their second penalty of the ball game. Watch it again. Watch 10 or 20. The grabs the. Yeah. Maybe Ethan Burt, 28. Kind of had a combination of a collar and a face mask, right? Just call one or the other.
Enough to warrant the flag. 1st and 10 from the Highland Park 43. Fly with a hard count. He will keep it after the fake to Smith. Trying to get to the edge. Cuts it back. Fly. All that running and a gain of only a yard. Bring up 2nd and 9.
Ran 10 to get a couple.
Another new faces, Mac Ballard, number 34, a DB for the Scots. 17 in the first, 21 more in the second quarter offensively for Highland Park tonight. Again, last year a area finalist in Class 5A. From the 41, here's Smith up the middle, and Smith able to move it ahead for about 4 yards.
Smith on the carry.
So low to the ground, and the big offensive line kind of hides behind him, and hard to tackle at times.
Closing in on 50 yards for the night.
5'8" and
below his
140.
average.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's right. Closing in on 50, way below his average. Looking at the Highland Park secondary, they've got a couple of second teamers back there.
Bump coverage for the Scots on 3rd and 4. They deploy Littleton wide left. It's Smith. And Smith, high load, double teamed at the 40.
Daughtry, number 24. The thing about the Scots, they close so fast. You think you've got an edge, you think you've got some yardage, and the guys from the secondary, either the safety or one of the linebackers, they just close in and close it so fast and put an end to what you thought was going to be a pretty good run.
Yeah, they tied up Omar Muhammad, number 6, to the offensive tackle, and now brings up 4th down. 4th and 7. Clock running, 3.5 to go in the 3rd. Play brought in by Littleton, number 6. Henderson, always lonesome, out to the right. Play clock down to 2, and in danger of a delay of game. The Cards take their first time out of the second half.
So MacArthur, this is like the beginning of their gauntlet. You know, you've got Highland Park, and then you still have Jesuit. Boy, that's a one-two punch right in the face as far as a schedule is concerned, playing the best 2 teams in the district there right toward the end of the season. You're beat up a little bit. You're coming off a game against Highland Park where at this point you've been shut out. Then you got to bounce right back against Jesuit, who's probably going to finish number 2 in the district for postseason.
So the Cards facing a 4th and 7 from the Scott 40. There's the offensive line. Akpom and Hernandez among the 5 offensive linemen. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the other side. Darrell Smith, the running back, on 4th and 7. Fly, running, throws it towards the middle. It is intercepted at the 20, 30, cutting this way 35. Fights off a tackle. This is number 24, Daughtry, and Daughtry is gone. 80 yards on the interception. Brady Daughtry.
Kept looking for a penalty flag, but didn't get it. Some of the offensive linemen right in front of the MacArthur bench with their hands in the air looking at the side judge saying, hey, what? Feeling like they got a penalty. Also, it looks like one of the Cardinal players injured on the sideline. There he is there, trying to make that tackle.
So a MacArthur player shaken up.
Trying to see if that is Smith or not, number 1.
Scots
Yeah,
on.
It is Smith, number 1.
PAT is up and over and into the night. So add 7 more. It is now a 52-0 score. .257 left in the third. It's amazing how you can run 80 yards and nobody's able to tackle you. He fought off one at about the 40 on this side.
Brady, a safety, playing center field. Fly just throwing that one up for grabs. And instead of giving up right about here, he just kept moving the feet, and 3 Cardinals just went right over his head. And then once he gets space, then he's gone. Look again, right there. They almost was able to wrap him up. Simmons wasn't able to get a hold of him. Here's Fly, kind of a desperation type throw right in the middle of the field. Looking for Littleton, perhaps number 6. But instead, Daughtry comes up with it, and then he has an escort right down the middle of the field. Highland Park with another touchdown on the board and a comfortable 52-0 lead with just under 3 minutes to go here in the third.
His number kept getting smaller by the time he got to the 20, into the 10, and through the end zone. And another one will come out to the 25. Third possession for Mac. All starting from the 25. The ball going over on downs. Now the turnover. Their second of the night.
Was it last week's game? One of the games MacArthur had in the start the third quarter, they had a couple of safeties and a kickoff return, or 2 kickoff returns and a safety to start the second half before the offense even had a chance to touch the ball. They had scored like 11 points.
Yeah, they had a lead of 36-0, went 43, then the safety made it 45. And last week's win over Irving High. So this sputtering offense takes over, and Casas Willis back in at quarterback, number 9.
Well, I'm glad to see he's not hurt.
It's Smith coming right. No, it's not Smith. Out to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, Henderson getting some running room.
22.
As a tailback instead of as a wide receiver. They're like, well, we can't get you involved out there. We'll get you involved this way. It was Smith sitting out a play after that injury on the interception return for a score.
Darrell Smith will be back, as will Henderson, both juniors. So a gain of 7 sets up 2nd and 3. From the Cardinal 32. 2:15 left in a fast-moving third quarter. Henderson wide open, caught, headbutts his way close to the 38. And a first down. Cards only had 2 first downs in the first half.
Coming into tonight's ball game, Henderson ranked number 1 in the Metroplex. 11 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards, 45 catches. That's going to take a little setback, if you will, after tonight's game.
Sincere Owens, number 54 in the offensive line.
Have him unofficially just a couple of catches for 7 yards.
1st and 10 from the 38. And nobody home, as Willis had to get rid of it. He'll bring up 2nd and 10 with 1:49 left in the third. Cardinals came in averaging 40. Scots just giving up 16 points a game. Shut out Irving High earlier this year. Limited Nimitz to 6 points last week.
Maybe it's the defense that's the unsung heroes of Highland Park.
Well, yeah, he just allows 16. That's a pretty healthy number. Here's a short toss. It's Smith, breaks a tackle. Smith breaks another tackle, crosses midfield, and is planted hard at the 43.
Nice effort by Smith. Didn't look like he was down by 50 points, did he?
No, he did not. Left it all out there.
Yeah, puts him close to 63 yards on the night. There's a pulling guard and tackle. Nice little block right there. And then he doesn't give up. Spins and turns and rattles off another 7 yards or so before he's brought down.
Hunter Thornton on the takedown. 1st and 10. Cardinals from the 43. Quick pass. Caught. Positive yards. Inside the 35.
Littleton, who works a slot.
Mark it down at the 34, Tyler Littleton, and he'll be back next year. Casas Willis is a senior. Dakota Simmons, also a senior. They've got 29 this year on the roster. Under a minute to go here in the third. 1st and 10 from Highland Park's 34. Cardinals try to get on the board here. Avoid the shutout from the 34. Running room, and a marker comes in from the backside of the play, from the MacArthur's end.
Usually against the offensive line. That was Ray, who had picked up the first down, rushing to his left. But heads down, they're coming back.
Single-handed to the face. 78 MacArthur. 15 yards from the previous
Hands to the face.
Replay, 2nd down.
So the Cardinals will back it up. And they keep walking. They keep walking to midfield. Right between the 49 and 50. They need to get to the 32 for a first down. So they need 17 yards, if the math is correct.
That's a spot foul, and apparently it happened further back than they had hoped.
Caught, wrapped up, and tossed down hard, and losing a helmet after the play is Simmons. They'll give him the 46. Gain of 4. That may do it here in quarter number 3 as we wind it down. And we will head to the 4th quarter. So 3 down, 1 to go here at Joy and Ralph Allen Stadium. It is 52-0 Highland Park. As we come back, Cardinals facing a 3rd and 14 from Highland Park's 46-yard line. Still moving some players around. Henderson comes in. Littleton, he stays out there. So Casas Willis in the backfield with Darrell Smith on 3rd and long. Smith to the left. Wide receiver to the near side is Littleton. And here's Casas Willis, empty backfield. Loading up, going deep down the right side, and overthrows his man at the 25.
Well, not on the same page.
No.
The receiver did an out. Willis thought he was going to do an in. He actually had a couple of steps on the defender.
Jacoby Simmons, the intended receiver, is 4th down. So they'll bring on Albert Becerra to punt it away. For the Scots, they drop a receiver back inside the 15. Bounces at the 12, and did he get to it inside before it went over the double stripe?
I think so. I think they're going to call it down inside the 1, actually.
It is down at the 1.
And one of the few bright spots tonight for the Cardinals. Love the fact they're not giving up. And if Highland Park's going to score again, they're going to have to earn it.
Able to get to it before his feet cross the goal line.
John, what's been some of your favorite games we did on ICTN this year?
Games. Well, the Nimitz game, that 66-40 game.
Against MacArthur.
That would never end.
Yeah, over 100 points.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
There were three highlights this year in the games that we've done. I'll wait for this play here. They get a safety. I think so.
Right on the goal line.
No, I'm going to say he's at the 1. Oh, I thought we had our safety.
Frank Musa tied up just over the goal line. Can't be any closer.
Did he get across? I don't know, John.
From here, I don't think he did.
From our angle, it looks like a no-go.
At the 1 foot line, number 12, Warren Peck is the new quarterback.
The other number 12.
Trying to plow out some yardage to the 4.
So, yeah, probably you're right. The MacArthur-Nimitz game, over 100 points scored. Also, probably second on my list, Nimitz over Irving. Last second touchdown pass, under a minute. And they had to go deep to do it. Hernandez with the touchdown. And then number 3, early game in the season, Irving gets a win. They beat South Garland, the Titans, right here at the stadium. That would be my top 3 games we did this year.
Yeah, that was a good one. South Garland and the Tigers. From the 4 on 3rd down, Peck will throw. And this one incomplete. So Brennan Store's night is done. Second teamer's in. And here comes a punt team. Scots punting for only the 2nd time.
I think we're going to see the 2nd team from here on out for Highland Park.
It is away. Spinning, still spinning. Over the 40. And rolls to the 43-yard line. So a short field for the Cards.
So Smith watches that one bounce around. It's been a tough night for Darrell Smith. Came in close to 800 yards of total offense. 11 touchdowns coming in. And remember last week, oh, what a dandy of a game he had last week. And he just tore it up against Irving, right up the middle, left and right. Everything just seemed to go his way. They ran a lot of those, call them like a jet sweep almost in there. He just waited for his blocks and put on the afterburners and made a nifty little move there at the 10 before scoring. One of his 11 touchdowns overall this year, reverses his field.
Casas Willis throws. This one intercepted at the 25. That is White. It is number 11, William White, on the interception. Yeah, Smith, one of those runs. Well, he went long distance twice last week, 76 and 52.
See if this play comes back. There's a flag back at the 45. And a hands to the face against Highland Park, so that will wipe off the interception.
So that negates the turnover, and the Cards keep the drive alive.
Remember, Willis came in with only 2 interceptions all year. There just has not been a lot of space for his wide receivers for Willis to hook up.
Over 2,000 yards, 20 touchdown tosses. Nice effort anyway by White. So that'll scoot it inside the 30. 1st and 10, Cards from the Highland Park 28. To the near side. Caught at the 25. 3-yard pickup.
And dropped.
Well,
Simmons couldn't find the handle.
let it get away to Kobe Simmons. So it'll be 2nd and 10. So Simmons stays out wide left. Simmons guarded by Mac Ballard, number 34. 2nd and a dime. Willis will go to the other side. Caught. 25. Trying to get to the 20. That's number 22, Brandon Henderson.
About his 3rd catch of the night.
So Henderson with his 3rd reception. It's spotted at the 21. They need 3 yards on 3rd down. Henderson to one side, Simmons and Littleton to the other side.
How rough of a night has it been? Henderson had negative yards at one point.
3rd and 3. This is number 6 inside the 15, inside the 10. Littleton, the inside receiver, and sets up a 1st and goal. Bond with a tackle, Preston Bond. 1st and goal from the 8. See if the Scots, or see if the Cards can cash in on a 43-yard drive.
Just a quick little out. Littleton had one blocker, Simmons, out there in front of him.
Really stacked up by 5 Scots at the 8-yard line. So 1st and goal. Casas Willis. Here is Darrell Smith. Reverses. Smith looking. Smith, and loses a couple of yards. Penalty flag comes in from the near side.
That play looked a little familiar, didn't it?
Yeah, the 52-yard run last week.
Jack Morris, 57, who's played the majority of the ball game at linebacker. One of the linebackers not being able to play tonight for Highland Park, out with a shoulder injury. So Morris had played a majority of this game.
You hate for this to go MacArthur's way, against MacArthur. You have it 1st and goal at the 8 as the referee's in discussion.
Number 68, MacArthur, 15-yard penalty. Replay.
Well, they were close. Now they're not. 15-yard penalty.
Here he goes to his left and then reverses field. Right there, there's the block, the blind side block. Trying to cut down on those penalties.
So they set it up at the 22. Smith stumbles, loses his balance, and taken down hard at the 21.
That was Morse again. 57, one of many in on the play, along with Robert Remy, number 10.
O-line just towers over Smith. He looks up at the offensive lineman, number 54, Owens, back in the O-line.
Speaking of the offensive line, it would be so easy for them. They're so gassed. Difficult for them to stay with their man blocking.
Yeah, trying to get some fresh legs in there. Henderson, the running back, can hold everything. As a timeout taken by the Cards. 7:47 left to go.
Well, that gives Smith has 85 yards, and let me tell you, those are 85 very tough yards that he has gained tonight. Dallas Morning News, they rank the top 10 and top 20 teams in the area. Right now, you've got Denton Geyer, who just destroyed Allen last night on a national telecasted game. And usually you think of Allen as, you know, being pretty salty. They're not the Allen teams of old that we have seen. And Denton Geyer, whose quarterback is an Oklahoma recruit, they just tore it up last night. Duncanville, number 2, been to state the last, 2 years in a row? South Lake Carroll, DeSoto. There's Highland Park at number 7. You can see why. Prosper, Martin, and Rockwall. Martin got off to a pretty good start. You follow Arlington schools pretty closely, John. Are they kind of drifted off a little bit? Or are they still?
They beat Lake Travis in week number 2, one of the 2 losses that Lake Travis has had all year, but they will win that district. Martin will win the district. Costas Willis going to the end zone in the deep corner, and that was so compressed. You had tight coverage by Ballard trying to loop it to Henderson. Not there, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of room on the sideline for him.
Yeah, your 4 playoff teams from that district, Rob, it'll be Martin, South Grand Prairie, and probably Arlington and Bowie, the 4 teams in that district.
It seems that Costas Willis has thrown a lot of passes tonight. That was his 21st.
21. He served up 28 last week. 3rd and long. Running play, a slant over the right side. Taking it to the 15-yard line is Cordy Ray, sophomore.
Good to get those underclassmen in a position like this, even though the game may be out of reach.
Yeah, you had it 1st and goal from the 8, and now you still have to go some.
I think they're short a man, too. Blocking.
Well, the Scots have one in. Now they bring one out. And for the Cards, Alvarado, he'll become the 11th man. Play clock down to 3. Here's now they can't get it off. The Cardinals trying to attempt a 32-yard field goal. They were a man short. Play clock was down to 2, and they take another timeout. You know, I was talking about Randy Allen. I had a nice visit with him earlier. 431 wins, winningest active coach in the state, 3rd winningest coach all time. Did you ever see any games that G.A. Moore coached at Salina? Did you ever see any of those games? Over 400 wins at Salina.
Pilot Point I did.
Okay. Phil Dannebeer at Corpus Christi Cal Allen, the all-time winningest coach in Texas football history, 490 wins. There's the head coach since 1981 at Highland Park. Always has that fedora, kind of a spring, early fall look, not that winter fedora.
You have different, so what's the summer one look like? Is it light colored like a straw hat?
From 32 yards out, it is blocked, it is scooped up, trying to get something positive, and it'll be turned over as the Scots block the attempted field goal from 32 yards out. Have a player shaken up. Now hopping right back up is Barrett Denton. And the ball goes over here with 6:41 to play.
Pretty much that when it rains it pours mentality tonight. Just nothing really working for MacArthur. Regroup, reload, look ahead next week, see what they can do.
Well, they had a good week of practice, getting ready for this contest, and just went away in the first half.
Coming from that left side, unblocked.
Caught at the 35. Nice catch by Sloan. Is that? Yeah, Max Sloan, number 19. Senior.
If you're one of those guys that only get to play when the game's out of hand, this is like your moment.
You practice, now you're in the contest. Warren Peck is the quarterback. Down the rail, near side, and that one 7 to 8 yards out of bounds, intended for Sloan. We'll bring up 2nd and 10 with 6:07 to play. It's our last telecast on ICTN this year. Week 8 of the football season.
And who knows, in another year or two, you know, they may have the district rearranged again. We might not see Highland Park for another 10 or 20 years.
Brian Rapp, number 42, and he's wrapped up at the 38. I know you do Christmas. Do you do any kind of Halloween lighting, any kind of decoration?
No, that's the day I start on my Christmas layout.
Oh, okay. All Hallows Eve
Halloween,
means nothing.
No, I turn out the lights.
Don't want to be heading to
bothered.
the door. Oh, okay.
I don't want to be bothered. I got to get into a giving spirit.
Well,
I got to get into a good spirit. Don't bother me.
I'm going as a dentist this year. I like that sweet tooth Halloween candy. Here's Peck. Throws on the run. Caught at the 38. Chased out of bounds.
I have a friend who's a dentist. I asked him how business was, and he told me down in the mouth.
Got a lot of pull. First and 10 from the 45. New numbers continue to be hustled in. It was 38-0 at halftime. 2 touchdowns in the third quarter for the Scots.
You know, we've had a lot of fresh faces on the sideline when Coach Nicholas is the senior statesman amongst the 3 high school coaches.
Yeah, that's an indication of how it has gone. Robert Remy on the reception.
Brian Rogers, the old longtime coach at Nimitz High School during the offseason, promoted to athletic director. As offensive coordinator, Coach Small is now the head coach.
Second and about 4. Rapp cuts it back. Nose dives to the 40. And another set of fresh downs. Brian Rapp, senior. Let's see, who else is in there? Colder, number 25. Lucas Colder, senior running back. Inside receiver is Colin Sewell. Just playing out the string here in the final 3+ minutes.
Yeah, they even have the backup offensive line in there.
So it'll be school win number 872 for Highland Park. They opened the doors at that school back in 1915.
Handoff left side. MacArthur defense right on the spot. Pretty much expecting a play of that caliber. Took a look there. Ramos Sandoval made the tackle.
Second and 11. Peck throws wide open and dropped at the 35. Like to have that one back. But it's dropped and brings up third down. So Highland Park now, Rob, the last 2+ years, their record is 28-3. 29-3. It's now 29-3 the last 2+ years. Lots of talent as they gear up for postseason play. 2:40, clock running. Here's Peck, chased and dropped at midfield.
It's Garza, 42. Not giving up on the play. Kind of surprised me they were throwing.
He dropped back and had a receiver to the near side, but it was Garza that gummed up the works.
Bottom of the screen. They sent the house, the running back. That's his job to pick up one of the linebackers. He picked up the one coming right up the middle, but not Garza, who came off the edge.
Jack Tansey will punt it away. Smith inside the 15-yard line. It's a running punt.
Their second one of the night.
Gets away from it. Punt number 3.
Trace.
And will be touched at the 16. So with 1:36 left to play here, Mack will take over and play it out. Cordy Ray will be the running back.
34-yard punt, first down 10, Cardinals at the 16.
Again, the Cardinals next week at Dallas Jesuits and then at Berkner to end the season. They will now go to 4-4 on the year, 3-3 in district. And Smith, or not Smith, but Cordy goes down at the 18.
Gain of 3. 2nd and 7 at the 19.
Cordy Ray, 5'6", 135-pound sophomore.
Well, a game where two offenses were going head-to-head, and the Highland Park offense, well, maybe let's just give credit to their defense. They stepped up as well.
It's the old two things can't occupy the same space at the same time. That's been their defense tonight. Wrapped up after a short gain to the 22.
Well, they had a game plan defensively for Highland Park, and that's to stop that guy right there, number 22 Henderson, and they've done an outstanding job doing that tonight. Numerous times we've seen them put a safety over the top to help keep Henderson from breaking free, and he really didn't do the damage.
Take a short break, do some housekeeping with a short post-game wrap-up. 17 seconds left to play. Henderson on the receiving end, out to the 35.
Willis to Henderson.
So the Cards shut out for the first time this year. Spotted at the 37 with 8 seconds left.
And counting.
2-1, and that will do it as the Scots pick up win number 8. They polish off, they lathered up the Cardinals tonight, winning big time 52-0. Cardinals say they have a play left, so hold everything. Play clock showed 0. Game clock showed 0. So they're going to
give them one more for the gusto.
Put it back to 8 seconds. Okay. Casas Willis with 8 seconds on the run will throw, and this one out of bounds, and that will do it. So they get an extra play and unable to gain any yards as the Scots go to 6-0 in district play. The Cards fall to 3-3. Both teams lining up single file at midfield. 52-0 our final score. Back with our post-game wrap-up on ICTN right after this.
Homecoming night in Irving, Texas, MacArthur's Abigail Baker, the big winner for MacArthur tonight. The homecoming queen, pretty smile, nice wave. Congratulations, Abigail. Your football players, they had a rough night. They were down at the half, and it got a little worse in the second half. Wilson Axley here on the very first series goes right up the middle, made it 45-0. And then the Cardinals just trying to make something happen, throws one up in the air. The safety Dotree with the interception and the pick six. Extra point was good, and it was 52-0 in favor of Highland Park at the end of this run. And MacArthur, they kept going. I mean, they tried to get something here. The pass to Littleton, it set up a try for 3 points just to try to get something on the board, but just kind of like tonight's game, just nothing really worked, and that didn't either. The field goal was blocked. And that's how things ended, 52-0 in favor of Highland Park. The stats pretty much reflective of what happened on the field tonight. Total yards, 328 to 151. Cardinals turned it over twice, and they had 6 penalties for 70 yards. So the Scots remain undefeated on the year. They're 8-0. They got a couple more district games left to run the table, and it's on their side. The schedule's on their side, and they should go into the postseason unblemished. For MacArthur, they still have an outside shot. I mean, they're tied with 2 other teams for that 4th spot, but they got Jesuit next week, so they got to regroup and try to defeat Jesuit to keep their playoff hopes alive. John, we had a great year. It went by way too fast, and we're just another year older.
You know, it'll be interesting to follow the Scots in the playoffs, see how far this team can really go with that prolific passing attack. Well, that will do it, as Rob said, for our entire ICTN production crew, the press box staff, and for Rob Willman, this is John Nelson. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year.